Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to another round of the NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series, coming at you live from the legendary Road Atlanta. We have 1 hour on the clock tonight, which means there's no time to ease into it. This is going to be flat out from the drop of the green flag. My name's Sean Stam, live here on Stam Studio Network, producing, directing, commentating the show all at once here for you. Welcome in everybody on Stam Studio Network. Appreciate all of you joining down there in YouTube land, as well as our league members, as well as sponsors and affiliates up in the top right of the screen. This is going to be a fun race out here tonight, although it is only that 1 hour sprint race. Hey, it's going to be a lot of action out on the racetrack. I believe competition caution after about 20 and minute 40 in it to the race. Back up to those sponsors and affiliates. I'm talking Brunson Motorsports, Helium Mobile, as well as what you're watching on here, Stam Studio Network Racing Broadcast, and World Data-Driven Performance with the data acquisition products out there for real-life racing. Ottoline Motorsport just outside of Austin, Texas, out at Circuit of the Americas. Scott Adams Driver Development, as well as Slipstream Performance, they build to win. Also including TRB Autosports, and of course, it's the National Autosport Association. We're talking Texas Region Sim Racing action here tonight. And if you're looking here for some more NASA Texas event racing action, at least in real life racing, be sure to hit up us up for March Madness at Motorsport Ranch Cresson, just outside of Fort Worth, Texas at the end of February. That's February 27th, ranging through March 1st. The event is legendary for its Saturday night crawfish boil, as well as award banquet. It's a favorite amongst the racers, and if you make your way up here just outside of Fort Worth, you will definitely see why out there. Scott Adams, appreciate you having me back here for another broadcasted race of this NASA Texas Sim Racing League. Lots of these racing drivers are real-life racing drivers that are now honing their craft for some sim racing action. Here you can take a look at our race information tonight. We're working from a 12-turn, 2.5 mile, one of my favorite road courses out here within the sim. It's Road Atlanta. We're working at a track temp of about 96 degrees Fahrenheit, ambient temps at about 78 degrees Fahrenheit, and an altitude of about 956 feet. Thank you all for joining in here tonight and looking in at last week's race at Sonoma Raceway. We saw Chase Gardner take away the race win from Aaron Myers. What was a side-by-side finish between the two, as well as Benjamin Forant, Christopher, as well as Mike Antino finishing in the top 7 there. We'll take a look at our starting qualifying grid out here tonight from Road Atlanta. Aaron Myers, very fast within our practice session. Aaron will slap it on the pole with a 1:33.027. The 22 had blistering pace out there within our about 7-hour qualifying session. It'll be Jonathan Siegel. It'll be Chase Gardner. That'll be second, third, Mike Barris, as well as Keith Gwinnett, Josh R. King, Christopher Bermudez, Andreas Profana, Noah Guerrero, Scott Adams. That makes up the top 10. Patrick Brunson out of Eagles Canyon Racing. Benjamin Forant, top 12 starting position after he finished P4 from Sonoma last race. It'll be Kenny Teal, Daniel Parmelee, Mark Curley, as well as Jeffrey Heyman, Ava Schultz, as well as Daniel Santabenez, Ramon Gutierrez, David Finkelstein, as well as AJ McAllister, Patrick Gut, and Vinny Barada out of Puerto Rico. I apologize if I am butchering any names up there within our 23 driver grid out here tonight. This is going to be a fun race out here from Road Atlanta. 12 turns from this 2.5-mile raceway. We're going to carry the speed through some of them, as well as bleed off the speed through most of them. You're going to see some hands as well as feet, hear some feet go to work out here tonight for this NASA Texas Sim Racing race. Now, if you're newer also here to the NASA Texas, that would be the National Autosport Association. It was formed in 1991 and has providing events around the country throughout many high-performance driving events. That would be HPDE, time trials, and road racing. Plenty of different classes from HPDE, class 1, 2, 3, as well as I believe ranging up to 4. So there, whether you're coming to the track out here just to have a good time, or you come out to the track out here for some real-life blistering pace laps, you make sure you hit up the National Autosport Association in your region, as well as make sure you hit up Scott Adams Driver Development. Let him know I sent you. Lots of learning out there from the sim as well as real life. Also talking about not only some more sponsors and affiliates up there on the top right of the screen, but I believe we have some drivers to talk about here tonight. I mean, talking about Patrick Brunson, who is starting in about the 11th position, is in his number 93, just outside of Austin, Texas. Hello, Patrick. I'm right here, neighbors with you. Also out of Austin myself. Last year, Patrick entered the Toyota GR86 North America Cup Series, driving the newer car at the time at VIR, Barber, and Coda, not to mention the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. Now, Patrick, he did really good. He will be racing in the series again, starting with the Grand Prix of Arlington in mid-March. That GR86 car. A support race for IndyCar's seat race up there in Arlington. Patrick has also competed in NASA Texas Time Trial and Honda Challenge classes for many years, winning the Honda Challenge Regional Championship. So keep an eye on Patrick Brunson, although starting P11 out here tonight. He's going to be able to rock and roll, hopefully make his way towards the front of the pack. That is just one of the many stories that we have out here tonight from Virtual Sim Racing. We're going to get these drivers racked, stacked, and ready to go from this 2.5-mile Road Atlanta Raceway. Aaron Myers, Jonathan Siegel out there on the front of the rows. It'll be a Chase Gardner, last week's race winner out at Sonoma. Starts P3, Mike Barres, I believe I'm saying that last name right there. He'll start P4 right beside Chase Gardner. And there you see our drivers working their way up turns 1, 2 right now, although it is at pace, race pace out here, excuse me. It is at pace, I guess you could say. That's what was tripping me up. Keep an eye on turns 1, 2, and 3. These quick switchbacks up here and down through the S's. That's going to be something to keep an eye on here tonight on the start of the race. There you can see already, I think that's that would be the 622, I think, of Christopher Bermudez, who already showed a couple of tires of up and off of the racing line out there. We still got to warm them up. We're going to get these drivers to about 2 more miles left to go within this short pace lap, and then we're going to release the green flag out here for a National Autosport Association sim racing action out here in the Scott Adams Driver Development League. This is going to be a lot of fun. Aaron Myers, Jonathan Siegel out there up front. Will they be able to run away with it, or will Chase Gardner show his speed and momentum from last week, as well as throughout the whole season up there within our 3rd running spot? Thank you all here for joining in. We got about a little bit more than a straight away to go back down and into the downhill portion of our lap here tonight from Road Atlanta. And I know plenty of these drivers, I have mentioned that they are not just real life road course racing drivers. Hey, many of these drivers actually have quite a few laps out here from Road Atlanta itself. So now they do something a little bit new. They're going to get rid of all the G-forces that they had on their cheeks, and I'm not talking face cheeks. They're going to get rid of all the G-forces that they had to feel within their Cup cars. And right now they're going to go sim racing action out here. National Autosport Association of Texas. We appreciate each and every single one of you. Slipstream Performance, those sponsors and affiliates up there in the top right of the screen. The stream is not to be done without TRB Autosport, NASA, Texas Region, Black Underwear, Brunson Motorsports, Helium Mobile, Stam Studio Network Racing Broadcast, Data Acquisition and Products from M World Data Performance, Ottoline Motorsport just outside of Austin, Texas, as well as the Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. Ladies and gentlemen, well, right now the field is in Aaron Meyer's hands as we are side by side through the pack. Pace car is in the pits of the safety of pit lane, and we are green flag racing out here from Virtual Road Atlanta. Aaron Meyer's, Chase Gardner, Jonathan Siegel out there up in the front top 3 positions as we'll settle things back down to running 2 wide between P2 and P3 and P4. A slight bit of P3 wide up there through the corner, settles it back down there to 2 wide. They'll beat and bang out there between Jonathan Siegel as well as Chase Gardner on those opening turns of the lap. That's going to allow Keith Winup to get a nice run out there between those 2. Wow, we got one going around. That's going to be Jonathan Siegel. No, no, no. He tried to use as much as that rumble strip as well as the off track as he could at the 132. One of our fastest drivers within our practice session is right now crawling on pace. Loses about 5 to 10 positions on that opening start of the race. Nice move to the inside line from our double right-hander for how about Christopher Bermudez down and around the inside line. Clears Keith Winup up there off of the exit. That's Christopher Bermudez up to P3, Chase Gardner up to P2, and Aaron Myers starting to stretch his legs out and into the race lead. Nice start up there for No Guerrero. I believe he started back within the 11th position. The driver of the number 23 blue and white Toyota GR86 has had a really nice start to the race. He might continue to put some spots down here, running that outside line, but here comes Keith Winup down into the inside. He's going to send it down there, puts the mail stamp on it down there, and through USPS it'll go through you. Keith Winup will go and backing up to P4. Keith gained 1 spot since the drop of the green flag. Here comes No Guerrero trying to take that one back away. Here we're going to look going into turn 1 for our second lap here of the race. Aaron Myers, Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez, Keith Winup, No Guerrero. That's the top 5. Running in from 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. That'll be Patrick Brunson, Mike Barris, as well as Josh King. Scott Adams makes his way and crests the hill right there. It is a beat and a bang fest. It's looking like our crawfish boil up from March Madness in just a couple of weeks' time out there. We're going to have one go around. I believe that's going to be the Patrick Hutt machine. We're still going to have cars spinning. That'll be Vinny Barada, who's able to come and pull a little 360 and able to keep that thing moving back and towards the front of the pack. There goes Ava Schlitz as well as Daniel Parmalee. How about Daniel? Oh no, Daniel's now off the track once again. What an opening start to this race, and just 1 to 2 laps. We have, a lot more than 1 to 2 drivers out, down, and around. Here's a couple looks at this race replay out here. I believe it might start out here with Jeffrey Hayman. It was 3 and 4 wide, making their way up and through the hill. This is when the contact starts to ensue. Andreas Rafana is there into the inside line. I don't think Jeffrey quite knew it as he actually will make his way through it. There's the contact there with Jeffrey. Spins out the number 69 of Ramon Gutierrez, and that's Optima Batteries Toyota GR86. His rear bumper flies off of that rear end, and then it's still banging. We're going to have some more cars going around right there. That's Vinny Barada as well as the number 9 of Patrick Hutt going down, out, and around. Unfortunate start out there to the race for Daniel Parmalee. He'll fall back all the way and into P22. Is damage on, says one of the racers down, not in YouTube land, but within the iRacing text chats. It looks like damage is off, at least for the time being right now. We'll get back within that here within a few laps time as the battle for the race lead. It starts a little bit of heat up and ensue action after debris is all over the racetrack. These especially our pack leaders are going to have to be very careful with their throttle application, their brake application, as well as their hands. As you see Chase Gardner hands go to work out of his Toyota GR86 number 31. No live or driver cams out here tonight, but we are on board with that virtual driver cam of Chase. He's continuing to keep that gap steady between P1 and P2. Christopher Bermudez, he continues to run P3, and then the gaps really start to shrink up there between Keith Gwinnett, No Guerrero, as well as Patrick Brunson. It's a 0.3 of a second battle out here between this battle on your screen, P4 and P5. You see No Guerrero try to keep Keith looking up in that rear view mirror up there, not able to make it happen. No Guerrero, although No is up to 4 spots since the drop of the green flag. He's still looking to make some more positions happen out there, running P5. There's Patrick Brunson. I mentioned him in our pre-race talks out there out of Eagles Canyon Racing, powered by Fast Track. His gold and black Toyota GR86 already up 5 positions gained. Continue to look for to look at Patrick Brunson slice and dice, working his way down and throughout the pack. Mike Barresso right there in that student driver, number 76 Toyota GR86 paint. Yellow Toyota GR86 paint scheme right there in the meat of the sand between Patrick Brunson as well as Josh King. That was a really, really eventful start to this race, and we're going to take a look at that drop of the green flag here in just a few moments' time, as a couple of drivers that were involved in those opening kind of shifts for position, if you will. And it'll be Vinny Barada out of Puerto Rico for the number 10, going at it there with AJ McAllister. It's going to be a single file 2x2 battle for 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. You see Ava Schlitz as well as Andreas Profana, who fell back to P17. That's in the same camera shots, running right there in behind this battle. Now let us know if everything is sounding A-OK down there in YouTube land below, as we're going to check up on this 3-way battle for fourth, 5th, 6th, and 7th. That'll be Patrick Brunson, who has that offensive race line way outside on the track. Contact there between the number 23 of No Guerrero. Keith Gwinnett is in this battle as well. He'll lead them out there coming out of turns 10, 11, and 12. Back and down the hill will go. It is a 5-car single file train for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, led by Keith Gwinnett. Here's going to be a little bit of a run of Patrick Brunson going down and into turn number 1. Is he able to make something happen down there? Deeper into the braking zone is that number 93 Toyota GR86. Nice pass, textbook pass, if you will, over Keith Gwinnett. But now Keith is in the hands and into the cusp of No Guerrero. This is starting to get to some really good action out here from Road America, this National Autosport Association Texas Region Sim Racing Series. Hopping on board here with No Guerrero. Battles of 0.2 of a second up there and in front. Battles of 0.1 of a second right there behind. Shoot, battles of less than that. Look at Mike go all and around. Contact with the rear bumper. A little bit of stock car racing action as we'll make our way down and through turns 7, 8, and 9. Here comes Mike working that outside line, but a little bit, not only is that outside line the further way around the racetrack, but you're going to lose even more speed and even more momentum doing so. We'll check back up here with the net battle in just a few moments' time, but we're going to check up on here with battle for the race lead. Aaron Myers, Chase Gardner. Ladies and gentlemen, this gap has separated itself back to 0.2 of a second between Aaron Myers and Chase. It's been back and forth, back and forth. Say it with me, come on. It's been cat and mouse, lap 1, 2, 3, and 4. Little bit faster for Gardner. There, lap 2 and 4. A little bit faster, 1 and 3. Here we go to make our way in lap 5. It is a whole 0.5 of a second faster. Have you ever? I have, but that is quite a bit of time that is gained between just 1 lap there for Chase Gardner. Will Chase make a move happen for this race lead this lap after they both try to get left and right side tires, cresting that corner apex, trying to carry all the speed, all the momentum, as well as pin that throttle pedal down, down, down on corner exit. That's exactly what we see these front 2 race leaders do, as well as now, looks like that will be that is Christopher Bermudez in the 622 Cornflake red and yellow machine right there running right in behind this battle. I know I've said this here quite a few times here between the National Autosport Association of the Texas region, especially at a track like this where slipstream and draft will be heavy. Look for this battle for the race lead not to only heat up Anitu, but as well as allow Christopher Bermudez to get a nice run, get a nice slipstream and draft battle up here within this front 3. car breakaway. The next car back up there, but behind this 3-car breakaway would be Patrick Brunson, Noguero, and Josh King. That was that 5-car kind of snaking serpentine GR86 train that we saw start to make its battle start to happen there just a little bit. After now just 10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go till our first competition yellow. Still that single file group anticipating their battles. Coming out of turns 10, 11, and 12, Josh King, Mike Morris, as well as Keith Gwinnett, Scott Adams, making their way through 10, 11. Here comes Kenny Teal, Jonathan Seagal. Jonathan, unfortunate start to the race. He falls back all the way into P11. Here's going to be, if you're just now joining us, here's going to be a look at our drop of the green flag here on tonight. I do believe we are making our way. Yep, okay, you see the pace car still on screen right there. So this is coming out of our final turns on the track here. And if I do fast forward things here just briefly. This is, I mean, lap 1 of the race, we did only have, what, 1 to 2 different drivers make their way down and off of the racing line. I don't really think any really big incidents to start out the race. We did have one there between Daniel Parmalee as well as Ava Schlitz. Daniel Parmalee, we'll take a look at his incident. There you see that's kind of maroon and black Scott Adams driver development machine running the outside line here as they're contacting 1 and 2. I think it's going up towards turn 3 and 4 that Daniel starts to go off the track here. Continuing to keep an eye on kind of about 3/4 back out here through the pack as we start to crest our way down and through the hill. 77 gets a little bit tight out there coming through at the corner. Then there's the contact between the 11, excuse me, of Ava Schlitz as well as Daniel Parmalee there. Both drivers off of the racetrack, but continuing to keep their cars pointed in the, not continuing to keep their cars pointed in the right direction as we saw out of Vinny earlier, who Vinny pulled out that 360 and was able to keep his car pointed out the right way just after a 360. Spinning out of the infield portion of the track. Back up here to our front race battle. It's Chase Gardner who's fallen back to about 4/10 of a second. So that's 2/10 gained onto that battle the last time we did take a gander at it. It's still Christopher Bermudez right there within that battle, but now falling back to 2 seconds and then a whole whopping 9 seconds separating P3 and P4. That top 3 driver interview spots between Patrick Brunson, Noguero, Josh King, and Mike Morris there. Andreas Pafana, AJ McAllister, they're starting to go side by side and up through the hill. Here comes Ramon Gutierrez starting to join this battle as well. They're going to single file their way back and out through there through the downhill portion of the racetrack. I mean, there's battles out there even, I mean, within each score of 3. We're kind of separated between 3 to 4 different kind of packs right now, and between each one of these racing packs, we do have some very, very nice racing action between each and every one of them. AJ McAllister starting to lead this pack with Kenny Teal, as well as Andreas Profana, Vinny Barada, and Ramon Gutierrez. 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th there on one screen. Start to see a bit of a run start to be brewed up there between Kenny Tal and AJ McAllister, but we're going to have to look at back up and in this battle for the race lead. It's Aaron Myers and Chase Gardner starting to go at it here. Look at Chase. He might have a run down into the inside in his vibrant neon yellow. What is that, a Jugo? What does that say on the side? Jugo? Oh, I'm going to have to see this next camera shot, but that number 37 is flying, being, he's on some rails out here within these last couple of laps. Jugo, I'm still waiting to see that the door spinal wrap there. After they make their way up into the S's, it's the Jugo Betrugo Racing Toyota GR86. Golly, it was left, right, finally back center for Chase Gardner's paint scheme. I got to take a gander at there. Chase continuing to reel in our front runner of Aaron Myers. Aaron Myers, fastest driver in practice as well as fastest driver in qualifying. Chase right now, though, has his fishing rod out. He's cast it out. And right now he's starting to see that bobber, bob on that water surface level, reeling in Aaron Myers. Slowly but methodically is Chase Gardner. Now that gap is sitting back at about 5/10 of a second between these newer revamped Toyota GR86 machines that we have here within the iRacing Simulation Motorsport Simulator. we're going to see the slipstream, the draft, as well as the dirty air is going to continue to play a pretty big factor out here within this battle for the race lead. I know you can try, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't personally think that you'll be able to get much better than some NASA, Texas, Scott Adams driver development sim racing action out here on the sim, especially broadcasted out here within Stam Studio Network. Things are starting to heat up and broil between our two front runners. Things are starting to heat up and broil between as well as 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. There's no Guerrero. There's Josh King finally back in within this battle. Josh is that darker colored Toyota GR86. A nice slide job up and into the front of a No Guerrero. Tries to take away the race line, but No Guerrero says no sirree, Bobcat tail, takes the spot right back down and around turns 1, 2, heading up towards turn 3, slicing, dicing our way between just tenths of a second between packs out here tonight. No Guerrero, 4 spots gained since the drop of the green flag. Guerrero up and into P5. Josh King all over that rear bumper out there as Noah gets a little bit loose there on corner exit. Here comes Mike Burris as well. Mike starting up there P5, he'll fall back into P7 in that student driver, number 76. He's going to get real close to that rear bumper of Josh King and up there up in front of him, not able to make a move happen. And now it's going to be a 4-car breakaway for that would be 4th, 5th, and 4th through 8th position. This slipstream, this draft-hungry track that we have out here from Road Atlanta, we're going to see a little bit of stock car racing action. You're going to see some bump drafting. You're going to see some side drafting out here, especially as battles for the race lead continue to heat up. It's still Aaron Myers, Christopher Bermudez running 1 and 3. Chase Gardner, meat of the sandwich. Right now getting a nice view at that front nose of Chase Gardner. Head back into turn 1. We can see that front end suspension really go to work out of these Toyota GR86 Cup car machines. Battles for the race lead, 2/10 of a second. Battles between 4th through 7th, 2/10 of a second. What is that? Oh, don't get me wrong. That's right, battles for 12th, 13th, as well as 19th, 20th. Less than 2/10 of a second. Here's AJ McAllister, Mark Curley. I think this is the first time that we've mentioned Mark's names out here tonight. Mark, I think a relatively newer racer out here within sim racing universe. Mark Curley, he's keeping that out here really close back here out here within that battle between AJ McAllister as well as David Finkelstein. The AJ started up there in the 21st position. He's right now running 19th. Mark Curley running 20th after starting in P15. And this is kind of the virtual driver eye cam. This is exactly what these drivers kind of see unless you're working with a triple monitor setup. And so we hop on board with Mark. You see his hands really go to work, saving that Toyota GR86 going into turn 1 as that thing really started to drift wide up on the racetrack. Now I know that we really aren't working up we're not working up within breakneck speeds out here tonight, but definitely speeds where you are going to see that slipstream and draft play a factor out here tonight. Now Chase Gardner has made a move right now for the race lead, but will it stick after going around the inside of Aaron Myers out of turns 9, 10, 11, and 12? Looks like it will stick for the time being, as we'll see this battle continue to go side by side, quarter panel to quarter panel, going up into turn number 1. Here's exactly how Chase Gardner made that pass happen. And look at this rocket of speed and momentum down and around the inside. You saw Aaron Myers sort of give the point by there saying, I see you going so deep within that braking zone. I'm going to give it right back to you, as I know we will be continuing to look. I know that I'll continue to have another shot at it here. Actually, Aaron Myers will fall back into P3 after Christopher Bermudez makes that pass up there for P2. Got Alex Peterson saying, go Keith, go Aaron. Moonlight Dancer joined us in YouTube land. Ted and Terry as well. Alex Patterson saying, later Aaron. And now that we've taken a look at and see how that Christopher is able to make that pass happen over Aaron, we're going to have to, excuse me, that was Chase making the move over Aaron. Now Aaron falls back into P3. Here's exactly how that move happened with Christopher moves his way up and into P2. God, it's just one race replay after another here. And this is the side-by-side that we've continued to really sort of not really expect to see about here between this ethical wheel racing, sim racing action from National Autosport Association of this Texas region. Ooh, boy, battles between inches, between centimeters, between millimeters, if you will. Well, we'll back it up here between this battle for the race lead, as this is now 1 minute to go till the competition yellow. Looking at the race leader there, Chase Gardner making his way back downtown towards what would be the green and white checkered flag throughout this stage 1 win, if you will. Christopher Bermudez makes his way back up to P2, but really not able to run away from Aaron Myers, as not only Aaron is probably pushing as hard as he has throughout this whole race, but you're going to start to see you're going to see this whole pack re-racked, restacked, I do believe, out here in just a few moments' time. Aaron Myers now 0.2 of a second back between P2 and P3, and it's now 14 seconds back between Patrick Brunson, Noguero, and Josh King. Noguero, Josh, and Mike Barr separated all between still 0.2 of a second here, as Chase Gardner makes his way down and around that isn't so straight down, coming towards our first stage win of the night. Josh King makes his way down and around that inside line. Will he clear it up there on corner exit? No, not able to clear the student driver of number 76 of Mike Burris there. Mike is able to take away that position once again. Back up here between our final corners of the racetrack before our stage 1 break. Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez, Aaron Myers, here they come out throughout turns 11 and 12 throughout this stage opening break of tonight. It should be Chase Gardner who is able to run away from the pack by only 0.7 of a second, makes a late race pass happen there, and then side by side between P2 and P3, Aaron Myers, Christopher Bermudez. Here comes Patrick Brunson, Noguero, Josh King, Mike Burris, as well as Scott Adams across the line out there. You won't see Barney wave any virtual flag, as this we will just get him quickly re-racked and we restacked. It'll be Josh King who finishes P6 in our opening sector of the race. Mike Burris, Scott Adams, Keith Gwinnett falls back all the way to P9. He's looking to recoup and re-arm. It'll be after same story there for Jonathan Siegel, Jeffrey Heyman, Andreas Profanis, Daniel Santabanes, as well as Ava Schletz. That'll be the top 14. Ramona Gutierrez. That'll be 15. Daniel Parmalee, Kenny Teal, AJ McAllister, David Finkelstein, as well as Vinny Barada, Martin Curley, Patrick Nutt, and unfortunately for Benjamin Forehand, he actually finds his way down into the virtual garage right now. All right, well, we do have just a quick, brief moment's time as we get the whole pack scrunched and bunched, ready back up to go. There's going to be a couple looks at some off tracks that happened out here before we threw that stage break flag. Man, there's Keith Gwinnett. Look at him. I mean, Keith, you have to give him kind of the benefit of the doubt right there, as well as the attaboy. I mean, Keith, he knew that he was coming into 10, 11, and 12, not going to be able to make the corner. Kind of just, he pulls it out there off the racetrack there. No contact between him and other vehicles, although does lose quite a bit of time doing that. He does live to fight another day. There's going to be an incident here with Mark, and not really an incident, I take that back, just a slight off the track here for Mark. He did start P15, Mark Curley running now in P21, but not only is the pack restacked here, there's also a whole nother chance after trying to make this race restart happen there for any of our drivers who quite didn't have the race start that they were looking for. They're going to have a whole nother chance right now, as well as in another 20 minutes time. Top 5, Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez, Aaron Myers, Patrick Brunson, Noguero, as well as Josh King, Mike Burris, Scott Adams, Keith Gwinnett, Jonathan Siegel, as well. That's who rounds out the top 10. No iRacing safety pace car. The field is in the hands of Chase Gardner in this National Autosport Association Texas Region race. If you're just now joining us, appreciates each and every single one of you. Appreciates Ottoline Motorsport. Ottoline has Porsches like cars like the Porsche 718 Cayman and Toyota GR86, all prepped and ready for track day use. I'm talking bucket seats, harnesses, upgraded brakes, upgraded brake calipers, and wheels ready to go out there out of circuits of the Americas in Austin, Texas. That's just one of the many sponsors and affiliates out there in the top right of the screen, but these drivers are ready to get them re-racked, restacked, and ready to go, go, go. There goes Chase. Go, go, going out of turn number 12 and heading out of turn number 1. Christopher Bermudez, Aaron Myers, Patrick Brunson, No Guerrero. That's 1 through 5. Nice start to this race for the top 5 as well as throughout the rest of the pack. Start to see Christopher Bermudez get a little bit closer to that rear bumper of our race leader, not able to make anything happen. And then you start to see drivers try to work those 3D rendered rumble strips all throughout these Toyota GR86 Cup cars. You're going to see these drivers really try to cut those corner apexes tight, 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 carrying all that speed and momentum out there off of corner exits. Oh, there you see a little bit too much speed. Maybe contact there between Keith Quinnip and Jonathan Seagal. That's between 9th and 10th. What a save. What cat-like reflexes for Keith there on that olive green 33 machine. Somehow saved it, pointed back in the right way, as well as we'll run side by side out there on corner exit. There goes Ava Schlitz. A little bit of a spin, not quite a spin, just a formula drift out there, if you will, for the number 11. Unfortunately for Ava, falls back down in a P21. Looking back up here between, I just saw the left rear quarter panel sticker for Chase Gardner. I don't know if that's Grand Theft Auto or what's going on right there. Out there, you can see that left rear quarter panel. As Chase Gardner start to say bye-bye to the front of the pack. Oh, I think we have actually one going down and out and around. That'll be Kenny Teal. That's out of turns 11 and 12. Looks like he'll get his foot right back on the gas. No, that was actually out there before turns 11 and 12. I think it was 10 and 11 after Kenny makes his way back and around, back and down the hill right here. Battles continuing to ensue all over the racetrack. I was just about to cut to it. Scott Adams. I think Scott Adams is going to have the Sean and Tater curse. Wow, who is that? David Finkelstein, who down and around the outside misses the slow and spinning Scott Adams. That's our answer. Is there damage tonight? No, it doesn't look like it. After Scott Adams and his number 72 Toyota GR86 was at race-ending detrimental damage out there. We're going to take a look at a couple race replays out here in just a few moments' time. We'll start out there with I believe that was Scott Adams there. We'll hop on board and see what happened. I don't think it's going to be contact between him and another driver. You see Scott running by himself there. Oh, just gets a little tight out of there coming back up the hill. That Toyota not doing what he wanted it to do. And as we take another look at this and kind of slow-mo action, I wonder, does he dip some tires up and off of the racetrack, or is just carrying a little bit too much speed? Oh yeah, there you see that rear end already starts to get loose out there for Scott Adams, and then right in front of another driver there, right in front of quite a few drivers' hands. And look at David out here. Look at David, who will hop on board here as he makes his way through it. Where do I go? Where do we go? Well, obviously not the left. I'll dip my tires up and off the right. David keeps his Toyota pointed back the right way. Back up here within this battle for the race lead. Haven't missed a thing. It's still Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez, as well as Aaron Myers running 1, 2, and 3. 0.3 of a second separating the three, as now Patrick Brunson has worked his way all the way back up to P4. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the driver that I was talked about there earlier within our kind of pre-race ceremonies out there. Patrick Brunson out of Austin, Texas, works his way back up to P4, but as company right there, as No Guerrero tries to look down into the inside line. Will No be able to make something happen out there? There he is. It looks like Patrick Brunson also gives a little bit of a point right there, knowing that he was not going to be able to make the defense. The defense happened out there on that outside line. So it is loss of grip. It is loss of speed out of that outside line. Nice move out there for Patrick to give the point by. That which makes a champion, not only between real life racing, but as well as between sim racing. Back up here within this pot 3 battle between Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez, and Aaron Myers. Well, look, some side-by-side battles out there after we make our way through the foliage. It'll be Chase Gardner a little bit deeper within that braking zone, deeper within that defensive braking line as well. We're going to hop on board of that rear bumper camera shot of our race leader. Here comes Christopher down the outside. Here comes Aaron Myers giving a shove down that rear bumper, going towards our start finish straight. There's 12 minutes to go till the next competition, yellow. Here we're looking side by side, mirror to mirror, going back into turn number 1. Aaron Myers has his virtual popcorn bucket out right now as the battle for the race lead continues to run within tenths of a second up within Aaron Myers' hands. Patrick Brunson, No Guerrero, Mike Burris, all there continuing to run 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, with Jonathan Seagull joining that battle out there as well. Who has what they say can't be done here tonight? Who is going to continue to rewrite the sim racing history books out here tonight? Oh, that's going to be a huge chapter within our sim racing history books. We're going to have to break it up out there because No Guerrero contact with the number 93. No, Patrick Brunson, the driver who had worked his way all the way back up to P4 after starting P11. Well, now unfortunately he'll drop back to a P11 and P12, right where Patrick Brunson started this race. Here's a quick look at this race incident. Tried to carry so much speed and momentum out there coming off of the exit. I think that is our second to most important corner, if not our most important corner, coming towards our first. Kind of isn't so straight there. You saw Jonathan Seagull almost tires lifted up and off of the racetrack here. We're going to hop on board with Jonathan Seagull. Excuse me, that was the number 11. That was the that was Patrick Brunson up and in front of him, who now we're going to hop on board with Patrick here and kind of see what he saw going into the corner, as well as listen in down here, ladies and gentlemen. Right side tires up and off of the racetrack out there for who was running P4 at the time. Patrick falls back to P11, P12 as we'll look back up in here for the battles for the race lead. Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez, Aaron Myers, still airing it out there. This three-way battle. Couldn't get any closer if you tried. Name's Sean Stam here on Stam Studio Network, producing, directing, commentating the show. And I appreciate all these drivers out here for coming on board, putting on this show, as well as each and every single one of you down there in YouTube land. Let me know who you're rooting on down here tonight, or if you don't have a driver to root on, let me know who you think will come away with the race win. Alex Patterson. So Aaron, Keith, and Josh are the most handsome drivers on the field, hands down. Well, we appreciate that for giving us a look down there behind the scenes. And we'll give you a look out here between sim racing and action. It's Chase, Christopher, and Aaron. Still that three-way, pause, three-way going at it out here. Let's continue to look two-way as Aaron Myers will, he'll continue to watch. Watching is a-okay as long as you're not making any contact out there with them. And that's exactly what Aaron Myers continues to do. Hopping on board here with Aaron Myers after Keith Gwinnett goes off the racetrack. He's Keith Gwinnett in 7th position, going to lose positions out there after now. We'll have to hop back on board with that battle here within a second. Keith Gwinnett, he showed a yellow flag, so that means he had cut a portion of the racetrack that he had to give back. Here's exactly the portion that he did cut off. And no, it wasn't a haircut. I think it was a track cut. Remember, we saw this, earlier on in the race, Keith, way too deep within our last sort of chicane. Yeah? I don't know if you call it chicane, but within our last sort of uphill section and then back down section of the track out there. We saw that earlier on in the race for Keith Gwinnett. Same thing happens there, with all due respect. I've done that one too many times. I'm just like Keith. You try to push it, corner in and corner out. And that's what I like to see out here within a driver like Keith. You see drivers who continue to push, shove these braking zones as hard as humanly possible into the corners. That's who you know is going to continue to fight it out here between battles between P1, P2, as well as battles between 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez. 7 minutes to go to the competition, our final competition break of the track, and as well as Mike Burris works his way back and into that final driver interview position. There's Jonathan Seagull, as well as Josh King, Andreas Profana. How about Andreas Profana leading this kind of third gaggle of cars right here, running in 6th position. Andreas, we've seen, not only No Guerrero, Keith Gwinnett, Aaron Myers. What happened to Aaron Myers as he falls back into P9, but what a race out here for Andreas Profana. Loses one spot, but still sits P7. Gonna try to find that outside line, maybe switch it back out there in that Stam Studio Network Dynaco Toyota GR86. It'll be side by side going back and up into turn one. Andreas Rafana down deeper into the braking zone of the inside, a little bit too deep as No Guerrero sets up that switchback, going right back and up the hill. Here's a quick look and see what happened to Aaron, oh goodness, Aaron, goodness gracious, sorry, Aaron Myers. There's a lot that is happening back in here behind the scenes as producing, directing, commentating the show. Here is what happened to Aaron Myers. Makes his way, okay. That one looked A-okay. We do have one driver off the track out there behind the screen. Okay, he went off track there. That looked A-okay. No harm, no foul. I think this one might be a little bit of a more harm and foul there. No contact for Aaron Myers, but just loses it. Trying to get a little bit closer between that P1 and P2 battle. Hopping on board here. Listen once again. Not only listen, but hands going to work. We'll take one more look at this here. Oh, take a look at the left side tires. Aaron Myers not on the asphalt. That is on the grass and dirt. Not, I mean, his rear end already looks pretty loosey-goosey coming into the corner for Aaron Myers. But you're going to need all the grip as humanly possible to try and to continue to make that line stick up there within this top three battle, which is now down to the top two battle between Chase Gardner, who had taking away the race lead out there, about lap 10 to 12 of the race. Mike Barres as well as Jonathan Sigel running third and fourth. Josh King, Aaron Myers, No Guerrero, that's fifth, sixth, seventh. Andreas Rafana falls back to P8. Keith went up P9, and Jeffrey Heyman. Man, hey man, how about Jeffrey out here tonight running P10? One of our biggest movers since the drop of the green flag. I think this is the first time we've mentioned his name out here tonight. This NASA Texas Scott Adams Driver Development Sim Series. Jeffrey Heyman, he is in a beaten, banging battle out there between Keith Gwinnett as well as Patrick Brunson. Meat of the sandwich is Jeffrey right now running in number 20. That's Castrol Oil. A little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of white all over his number 20 machine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get these drivers re-racked and restacked and ready to go in about 5 minutes time, enjoy the sights and sounds. Enjoy a Crank It Up out here from Road Atlanta. I'll be right back with you up here in the booth. Thanks, everybody. Slowly crank this puppy back down. My name's Sean Stam. Back up with you up here in the booth. It's, man, unfortunately not the race that Daniel Parmalee was looking forward to having out here from Road Atlanta, but although he did work himself back it up to P15, actually just made a pass over David Finkelstein right there just a couple of corners ago. Daniel still continues to put some very, very fast lap times around Road Atlanta. just put down a 134.79, and that was with a pass that lap as well. Driver number 99, Scott Adams, driver development. Not only Daniel, do I have to thank you so much for setting this all up here, this broadcast happening for this National Autosport Association Texas region broadcast, but as well as, hey, continue to show out this really nice consistent pace out here, especially in at a race where not really running within where you're running to run respectfully. Daniel, we continue to see him really nice, respectful, as well as, I think most importantly, the consistent lap times that we see from Daniel. Keep it up, Daniel. Continue to work your way a little bit closer towards the front of the pack. But right now, the front of the pack belonging still to Chase R. Gardner, and that is Riley Gardner. For those of you that have been some avid fans out here with us in Stam Studio Network. Not to name drop anybody out there, but hey, I keep some tallies out there in YouTube land, and Moonlight Dancer, if you're still hanging out there with us, man. That's just about every single race that we have Moonlight Dancer down there in YouTube chat, as well as Terry, as well as Ted. You know who you are, and you continue to make yourself known. Hey, it's I might have to send some merch or something your way. Obviously, I have just restocked out their new Stam Studio Network shirts, hats, as well as keychains. I think koozies. There you go as well. If you're looking for some koozies, make sure you hit me up down there in the YouTube land, and I'll be happy to send there something your way. As now that we do get a little bit of a break in the action, that's a Jugo SpongeBob. Is that the SpongeBob with a bowling ball in his hands? It is. Chase Gardner from Bet Rugo Racing. There, it's a little bit easy. Excuse me, that's not a bowling ball. That's a basketball. Chase up here with the race lead in his hands. Still Christopher Bermudez after starting in P7. Christopher works his way back up to P2. Jonathan Siegel. How about Jonathan's race out here tonight? Now, maybe I might have to join the driver cams out here if I do have enough time before we do get back to rolling race action. There has been a lot out here behind the scenes that continues to heat up and ensue, but I do think, if my memory is serving me correctly, that man, Jonathan Siegel has had quite a race out here tonight, and there's 23 drivers to keep track of. So I mentioned that I would do it, and here's a little bit of what I'm working with. This is simple down version, but there's all timing and scorings. That is what you guys are seeing, and then here, if I make this there just a little bit more of what I am used to seeing here. We also have a full multi-view action, so when I'm talking about producing, directing, commentating, hey, ESPN, Flow Racing, I have worked with those guys before, but if they have a copy, hey, I'm a 3-in-1 deal right here. Could be paying me. Okay, hang on, I gotta get rid of this. But this is all that takes happen to make a broadcast action, as well as my stream deck and my audio interface as well. So that's just what I mean out there between producing, directing, and commentating. It does take a lot, and I do appreciate each and every single one of you who have joined out here tonight from the bottom of my heart, as well as those of you who maybe kind of give a little bit of a leeway there if something doesn't quite look in the broadcast. Try to make things look A-okay out here at this National Autosport Association of Texas region. Got M-World up there in the top right sponsors as well, from Solo data loggers to Smarty Cam accessories, full color dash loggers like the MXG, or even sensors and cabling. M-World is there to get your car set up for data capture and future analysis. Hey, if you're looking to get faster out here, not only sim racing action, but as well as real racing action, you're going to need some of that M-World data acquisition out there so you can see. It's just like Garage 61, but real life. You can see where you're losing speed, losing time, as well as get with Scott Adams and Scott Adams Driver Development and get yourself that speed and pace right back to where it should be, if not more than that. We'll get back to some more green flag racing out here. This will be our last 18 minutes to go within our Road Atlanta race for National Autosport Association of Texas Sim Racing League. It's still Chase Gardner who leads him down there going up in turn 1. Christopher Bermudez, Jonathan Siegel, Mark Barnes, as well as Aaron Myers. Aaron Myers sizes him up down into the inside line. Nice pass, but that's going to allow Mark, that leaves Mark within the outside line. That actually allows contact between the two drivers there. Mike falls back, and quite a few persistence there. So does Patrick Brunson. No. Patrick Brunson, the number 93 out of Austin, Texas. He'll fall back backing all the way down to P19 and P20. And our final race restart of the race, we got one going down again. And that's going to be Ava Schless in the number 11 machine. Before we get back up and looking at a couple of race replays up here, we're going to have to join that battle for the race lead once again. Chase Gardner, Christopher Bermudez, Jonathan Sigel, 1, 2, 3. Aaron Myers, 4. Josh King, P5. So now they have started to single file themselves up within the race front running pack. Here's Scott Adams and Ava Schlitz going at it down there throughout our SS section. Contact between the two, once, twice, and thrice. There goes a nice save out there for Mike. Not only to, well, that was after Mike had fallen back into P11, P12, but Mike. Really nice work for him in that student driver paint scheme to make his way up and continues to run down our front leaders of the pack. Same story could be said there down and around with Aaron Myers. Aaron Myers made a very, very nice move going into turn 1 throughout our opening lap of our final stint of the race. Not close enough to be able to make that final driver interview position happen. What a race it's been for Andreas Profana. Andreas looking down and around the inside, gets it done from No Guerrero, Andreas, Josh King, Keith Gwinnett, pretty much every single one of these drivers out here on track tonight, but especially between Andreas and No Guerrero, 5th and 6th positions going at it. Hey, I'll let you in a little secret right now. I have broadcasted quite a few races as where Andreas Profana has been duking and jiving and battling it out there between side-by-side elbows-out action. Well, Andreas Profana is in the defensive line right here. I have seen him so many times, side-by-side, mirror-to-mirror racing, and it's been some of the most cleanest, most fun, ethical wheel racing to watch. Look at Andreas Profana pinch his corner exit and allow No Guerrero that outside line. Not what you're necessarily looking for if you're Andreas, to allow No Guerrero to have such a nice run of speed out of that outside line, there. But after Andreas Profana is able to kind of retain that inside, as well as get a nice slipstream bump draft there out of Josh R. King's front bumper. Hey, I've mentioned this here before. You're going to start seeing some NASCAR. You're going to see some stock car racing action out here between this whole pack. Christopher Bermudez has the yellow flag. That means he had cut a corner of the racetrack that he has to give back the time gained. There you see, he's going to cut into the inside line, give that time back. That allows Aaron Myers to slot his way back and up to P2. There's Jonathan Sagel right back into P4th position. Hey, Christopher still is looking to give that time back, as this is going to now warrant some side-by-side action down and through turns 2, 3, 4. Aaron Myers up to P2, trying to reel in Chase Gardner's rear bumper. Battle for the race lead, just 1/2 of a second separating P1, P2. It's 1.2 seconds separate P2 and P3, and 1/2 of a second separate P4 and P3 and P4. Now, these drivers are still close enough that they are shown within the same camera shots of one another. Myers and Bermudez now separated by 1.5 seconds, so actually Christopher's going to lose 0.2 of a second there. Also now within leading this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is that? About 8 to 9 drivers involved in one single file snake right now. No Guerrero is leading it up there in 5th position. That battle between them all. Andreas Profana falls back into P6 after just slightly losing back on that battle, but it looks like Andreas Profana is going to use all that slipstream and draft, that bump out of there from Josh R. King out there from behind. As far as aerodynamics goes, that's going to allow Andreas Profana down and around the inside line. Can it stick? No, not able to pin the throttle pedal on corner exit. Andreas Profana, he's going to have some help, some company out of that rear bumper as Jeffrey Heyman, Keith Gwinnett. Oh, we got one going around. It's going to be Josh King who gets the Sean and Tanner curse, pulls a 3:27.20, has it pointed back in the right way, but loses 1 to 2 to 3 positions there. It's now No Guerrero, Andreas Profana that still sit P5, P6, and now Mike Burris, Keith Gwinnett, Jeffrey Heyman that sit 6th, 7th, and 8th. Side by side, a little bit of vinyl trading A little bit of side by side on their side between Jeffrey Haven and Mike there. They'll settle things back out as Scott Adams starts to join this battle here once again. Kenny Teal, Dan Parmalee, as well as Patrick Brunson. That'll be 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Coming out here with just 12 more minutes to go. Nice side-by-side battles out here all in throughout the pack. This is 8th and 9th going at it. Mike Burris, Jeffrey Hayman. Mike gets the spot down in round P8. Back up towards the front of the pack, you're looking at Chase Gardner, Aaron Myers separated by less than 1/10 of a second between the two. Hopping on board with our race leader, Chase Gardner. Ooh, boy, he's getting that front end to rotate as best as I think any car has here tonight, with obviously that is being said. But really, as we hop on board here, within that rear bumper camera shot of Chase Gardner and Aaron Myers, it really puts into perspective out here, as well as watch the hands for Aaron Myers. One downshift, keeping that throttle pedal pinned out there, going up and through turns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Aaron Myers, not really much to, just a dabble on the brake out there after you saw that rear, those rear brakes glow out there for Chase Gardner's rear brake lights out there out of his Toyota GR86. Hey, these are cup cars that we've just basically stripped the whole inside of, as well as slapped a race transmission, race suspension on them out here. And that's pretty much what you're seeing from this simulated race battle out here between P1, well, the whole pack, but especially between P1, P2, P3, and P4, all separated by just less than 0.2 of a second between each battle, except between P2 and P3, 2 seconds between that battle, as you will start to see that slipstream and draft play a pretty big factor out here and into these closing laps out here and tonight. Let's hop on board here with Jonathan, and let's see if maybe he's going to make anything happen, or just continue to push that rear bumper. Continuing to hop on board there with him, I can start to see that Aaron Myers and Chase Gardner are looking at a little bit of side-by-side out there for the battle for the race lead. It will be side-by-side at 10, 11, and 12 to complete lap 30, headed towards lap 31. Look at Aaron Myers, really sacrificed all the run going into the corner, out there on for corner exit, found his way down into the inside line. That's Aaron Myers backing into the race lead. 9 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Myers to the point where he started this race. Chase Gardner backing into P2. Will they bang out there going into turn 1 and 2? There may have been slight contact, but Chase Gardner going to regroup, rearm it, try to slide his way back into the inside. Not close enough to make it happen. Here we'll hop on board with Chase Gardner's virtual driver cam. This is a very important corner right here. Get that front end to rotate. Pin that throttle pedal on corner exit. There you see, that's exactly what P1, P2, shoot, even call it P3 as Christopher Bermudez closes that gap between P2 and P3. Aaron Myers, 0.2 of a second battle up front. Looking at the last lap time history between our P1 and P2, we'll also compare P2 and P3. It has been Aaron Myers faster, but right now the visual gap is starting to close between Chase Gardner and Aaron Myers. Comparing Chase Gardner with Christopher Bermudez's last laps, well, it's lap 30. Looks like Chase Gardner has really picked up the pace, a whole 0.6 of a second faster. You're going to start to see Chase make a move down to the outside line right here. Who's deeper into the braking zone? This could be a battle for the race win right here. Chase Gardner back and able to make that move happen. It's deja vu. It's yins and yangs of road course racing. Back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. Christopher Bermudez, Jonathan Seagal, as well as No Guerrero. That's the top 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Andreas Rafano runs into 6th position. Still within the same camera shot, it's Mike Burris, as well as Scott Adams, Keith Winnup, and Jeffrey Hayman running in the top 10 positions. Back up here for battle for the race lead. Oh boy, this is heating up. This is broiling. This is ensuing. It's almost as close as, if not the closest, that these drivers have got between this whole race thus far. It was close between the corner entrance. It's now just separated by a little bit less than between Aaron Myers and Chase Gardner. Battles for the race lead. 7 minutes left left to go in the race, and now battles between the top 3 drivers. The gaps between the 3 are just about the same. Christopher Bermudez falls back to P3, but he is still close enough to possibly make something happen out here from Road Atlanta with our closing laps of the race. Jonathan Siegel, P4, and the number 132. He has been back and forth from the front to the back and backing up to P4 right now. Can Jonathan say what they say can't do what they say can't be done? And that is put it up within these front 3 race leaders' rear bumpers. Coming up here to 6.5 minutes left to go. Chase Gardner, Aaron Myers, still 0.3 of a second between the 2. Hopping on board here with that rear bumper camera shots, as you can really see that the distance here close between the 2. Contact between the 2. Aaron Myers starts to give the big sniff out of that huge front nose, all in all over that rear bumper of Aaron Myers, going backing up into turn 1. Nope, not gonna make anything happen. I not only invite you guys and gals out there in YouTube land to let us know who you're rooting on and who you think can win out here tonight, but as well as let me know, would you rather be the Cats right now, or would you rather be the Mouse? Would you rather be Chase Gardner, the Mouse trying to run away there from the Cat, who is P2 of Aaron Myers? Last lap by a 132.69, almost 0.6 of a second faster than the Chase Gardner, our race leaders, lap last by. Don't count out P3 and P4. Remember last lap, Christopher Bermudez was all over that rear bumper of Aaron Myers. Now Christopher falls back to about 0.6 of a second, starting to fall back into the clasps of Jonathan Siegel's hands, and that is in for P3 and P4. Really quick, just briefly, with just 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Here's Andreas Perfana, Mike Burris, as well as Daniel Parmalee, Kenny Teal. Oh man, Daniel Parmalee, he is in the meat of the sandwich right now, as he's got Patrick Brunson. Patrick, after falling back to P11 right where he started this race, continues to put some nice lap times down right now, especially holding off our charging Daniel, as well as Kenny Teal. Kenny Teal, we saw facing the wrong way earlier on in the race, and his Teal, number 28 Toyota GR86, looks like he's right now running P13, also exactly right where he started this race. Less than 1/10 of a second out here between Patrick Brunson and Daniel Parmalee. Patrick Brunson uses that outside line, very nice pass, uses the speed, uses the momentum, keeps that number 93 moving and grooving, and that takes away P12 back and around from Daniel Parmalee. Back with now just 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go. If my math is mathing, it's all going to depend on when Chase Gardner makes his way across that start-finish line for the final time tonight. If my math is mathing, it should be just about 2 to 3 laps to go. 56 minutes down, 4 minutes, lap time trending within the 1 minute 30 second range. Here comes Aaron Myers, here comes Christopher Bermudez, here comes Jonathan Siegel. No Guerrero is also, No Guerrero is about 10 seconds back here, so if there is some argy-bargy, if contact does heat up and ensue, hey, you never know who might take away this race win tonight. But it's looking like Chase Gardner's and Aaron Myers' race to be beat. And this might make a little bit of this might make some noise out here within these last closing laps. Patrick Utz running in P20 and the number 9 just in front of this battle out here, as we'll run side by side between the race leaders. We'll trade some more vinyl wrap between turns 10, 11, 12. Aaron Myers makes the inside, switches back to the outside. Aaron Myers back up to where he started this race in that, I called that another driver pole position, but it was actually Aaron Myers who right back up to where he started this race. Aaron back up to P1, Christopher Bermudez to P2, Chase Gardner backing into P3. Things are heating up right now. You can feel the intensity heat up through the roof with only 3 minutes to go with what should be 2 to 3 laps left here within this race. It all depends on when Aaron Myers now, who is our race leader, will make his way down and across that start-finish line. Here's another look at Aaron Myers' nice textbook pass for the race lead. It couldn't have been much cleaner than this. Just down into the inside, and I'm curious if we hop on board here with Chase, what does this look like from Chase's perspective? Well, a whole lot of nothing unless you have triple monitor setup, and you can see in that left and right there side of you. Now, Chase Gardner, he does have that iRacing spotter, so he does have the spotter telling him door quarter clear on the left or right side. And well, unfortunately though, for Chase, he'll fall back to P2. But we have seen, if anybody has what they say can't be done, it's definitely going to be here Chase Gardner. After winning Sonoma, what was that? That last corner, that last lap, race pass for Chase Gardner versus Aaron Myers. It was 0.02 of a second at the race line. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, with this race approaching what could be 2 laps to go. No, this is going to be white flag. White flag is in the air. This is the last lap of the race. This has shades of Sonoma all over it. Chase Gardner, Aaron Myers finishing P1, P2. Although it's the switchback right now, 0.02 of a second separated the two at the race line. Oh, Chase Gardner, he has pushed it for all that he has. He has now gotten loosed out of the turns 2 and 3. He has lost his Toyota GR86, has to serve a slowdown penalty if he didn't already lose enough time as well as speed and pace up there, trying to get up there with an Aaron Myers. It's now a 1 second gap that separates Aaron Myers and Christopher Bermudez between that battle for the race lead. The white flag lap. This is our last lap here from this National Autosport Association Texas Region Sim Racing event out of Road Atlanta. Jonathan Siegel, Chase Gardner, that battle for that final driver interview position is up for grabs right now after Chase loses it through turns 2, 3, and 4, falls back to P4. Aaron Myers making his way downtown for the final time tonight. Now the isn't so straight. It'll be just 2 more turns to go for the number 22. Can Aaron Myers put 2 back-to-back top 2 finishing positions in order, or is Christopher Bermudez going to try to send something from the different zip code on back? P3, that final driver interview position is up for grabs as well. Jonathan Siegel, Chase Gardner, 0.4 at the line. It's going to be Aaron Myers and the NASA Texas sanctioned race out here from Sim Racing World, the Road Atlanta. Aaron Myers conquers Road Atlanta as his own. Congratulations, Aaron. Congratulations, Christopher Bermudez and Jonathan Siegel. That'll be 1, 2, and 3. Chase Gardner at the line. That'll be P4. No Guerrero takes away P5. Andreas Perfana, P6. Scott Adams, P7 at the line. Keith went up P8. That'll be Patrick Brunson, 2.9 behind, as well as Daniel Parmalee, P10. Now stick with us here on STAM Studio Network here, ladies and gents. We're going to get those top 3 driver interviews as well as unofficial, official race results. Here's another look at how Aaron Myers passed Christopher Bermudez for the race win. What a race it was out here on STAM Studio Network, and congratulations congratulations to everybody competing in the race here tonight. But Aaron Myers takes away the race win in the number 22, back up in pole position where he started this race. Christopher Bermudez, Jonathan Siegel, that'll be P2, P3. It's Chase Gardner, No Guerrero, Andreas Perfana, Scott Adams, Keith Gwinnett, Patrick Brunson, Daniel Parmalee, the top 10. And here comes the unofficial, official race results. Congratulations once again to Aaron. Can't wait to chat with you down there in a virtual Victory Lane land. As we're still waiting on a couple drivers to make their way across the line to make this all officially unofficial. Here we go. That's going to be our official race results here tonight. That's the top 10 I just referenced there. Then it'll be Kenny Teal, Mike Burris, as well as Ava Schlitz, David Finkelstein, Josh King, Ramon Gutierrez, as well as Daniel Santibenez, AJ McAllister, Jeffrey Heyman, Patrick Utt. That's the top 20. Vinny Barada, Mark Curley, as well as Benjamin Forehand running at the top 23. And as I plug in my my race wheel and out here, we should be able to chat with some drivers up here within this top 3 driver interview position. Hey, Aaron Myers, Christopher Bermudez, or Jonathan, you got yourself a copy. As I'm just waiting for these guys to make their way down into virtual broadcast victory lane. Thank you all so much for out here joining me here tonight. We got Zero, the racer. He says always does a good job. Zero, man, you've been out here down around YouTube land here for quite a few months, if not years, it seems like here. Zero, appreciate you. Alex Patterson saying, Aaron and Josh are both team CTD. Go, Aaron. Congratulations, Aaron. Let's Go Ramon says, and Durden we trust. It'll be Terry and Ted. Congratulations, TMC.
Aaron, Cricket, or John, are you guys around?
We're just going to try and see if we can get some driver interviews.
Yeah, I am. I just don't have Discord or whatever.
Hey, you got yourself a copy? This is Sean up here up in the booth.
Or not on the Discord, actually. That's more the pub.
Hey, Aaron, you got me, man? I don't think he's got me.
Thanks, man. I'm really tired. Been loading trailers all day.
They won't let me talk to him, no. Hey, anybody got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, nope. Hey, this is Sean up here in the booth. Either Aaron, Christopher, Jonathan. I'm not showing who's talking to me right now. Who do I have the pleasure of talking with out here in broadcast land? Alrighty. We got to get a Discord set up here because I don't think.
Sorry, my mic is messing up. I couldn't hear anything you said.
Oh no. Hey, no worries. You got me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, is this Aaron, Christopher, or Jonathan up here in the booth?
Yep. This is Chris.
Hey, Christopher. Well, welcome up here in the top 3 driver interview. You finished out your P2 tonight, but hey, you were battling up within the top 2 and 3 out here tonight. What's going through your mind across the line, as well as, man, how much are you sweating right now?
It's pretty hot in my room right now. I'm really tired. I just spent all day loading trailers to go to Eagles Canyon this weekend, so I'm super tired, and I just hopped in. And I'm kind of surprised I got P2, so that's pretty cool.
Golly, man. Congratulations on the P2, Christopher, especially after loading up trailers after a full day of it. I'm sweating up here in the booth just watching you guys go at it here lap after lap after lap. And, man, congratulations once again on the P2 finish here, Christopher. Is there anybody who'd like to shout out here on this podium finish, man?
Thanks, Scott and Daniel, for holding these races. They were really cool, really fun, and hope to see y'all the next one.
I appreciate it, Christopher, and best of luck here to you in real life racing, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right, with this, with the race session closing within 30 seconds, I am going to have to close out driver interviews, but we'll be sure to include we'll have to make a Discord channel for some top 3 driver interviews out here, because I'm sure Aaron Myers is just begging to chat here with us. Congratulations once again, Aaron. We just chatted with Christopher Bermudez P2 and Jonathan Seagal P3. That's going to do it out here for me tonight on Stam Studio Network. Thank you all for joining in here tonight from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate each and every single one of you. And until, I guess, tomorrow night, we're gonna have some back-to-back broadcast with Apex Motor Club at the Indy Road Course, as well as the Full Throttle Performance NASCAR Racing League at Daytona. And then be sure to join us next Tuesday night here for some more NASA Texas Sim racing action. Thank you all so much. I'm gonna go ahead and get up on out of here. I'm go ahead and drive on safe. If you are driving safe, drive those virtual cars home safe if you're sim racing home, or fly those virtual flights home safe if you're flying home. Thank you all so much. I'll go ahead and see you next time. Thanks, everybody.